everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is Lake8 here, and in today's video we're gonna be talking about the ROARS and creatures of Sonaria, specifically why I think they're bad and why I think they need to be worked on, and just voicing my opinion on them because I think it's something that needs to be heard. If you guys have opinions, do make sure to comment down below. I don't care what your opinions are, it's very good to voice your opinions, and this is kind of just like a constructive criticism kind of stuff. I'm not hating on creatures of Sonaria, so if you guys have different opinions, that's totally okay. This is just my opinions, but yeah, if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe if you guys haven't already. We are close to we're close to halfway to 11,000 subscribers, which is pretty amazing. And also make sure to like this video if you guys enjoy it at any chance, or if you do agree with my opinion, or if you disagree, it's okay, whatever it is. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So the main issue I really have with them is the animations. Now I know a lot of games, like a lot of other creature games, a lot of other games that have creatures or animals, their ROARS kind of have animations, or their calls, whatever you guys want to call them, and most of the time it's like unique kind of animations, and it's just not the opening of the mouth, which creatures of Sonaria does terrible at because they have the creatures just open their mouths to have these ROARS, and a lot of times it's not even synced with the ROARS, which is kind of concerning and also kind of annoying, as I feel like they could do a lot better with that. Now we do kind of have this kind of little similarity with going on because Dragon Adventures has a similar thing, as it kind of just has little particles and also a roar. That's kind of it. It doesn't do any animations, but I do think it fits Dragon Adventures. I don't really want to complain too much about that, as it kind of fits it, but it's also the same kind of issue we have, is it doesn't really have any animations, but the game has like a little texture that comes out the mouth, so it kind of fits Dragon Adventures. With creatures of Sonaria, there's really just roars and an unsynced kind of opening of the mouth, which I kind of find lazy in my opinion, and that's why I really want to talk about it in today's video. Like, I do understand their perspective on why they have it like that, because it's going to be really hard to add animations for all these creatures that they have, but they should have done this at the beginning, to be honest, because now they're kind of stuck because they have what, 30 plus creatures in here. That means they're gonna have to be 30 plus animations, and they're gonna be after individual kind of things. Now I'm not thinking that they're gonna fix it, mainly because of this issue right here, where there's so many creatures that having animations like that would take ages to do, and I kind of understand that, but I feel like they should have done this at the very beginning, because then it would be a lot easier and they wouldn't have to go back and do any of this if they just added the ROARS animations and went, that lazy, to be honest. Another issue really about the ROARS is a lot of them are the same. Now I do understand having a sound developer is really hard to find sometimes, depending on what you're doing and depending how big your community is and stuff like that, but the community is pretty big, and I'm pretty sure they have a ton of Robux, and these ROARS, a lot of them are just like the default roar that I've explained a lot in my other videos, and they just have the same ROARS, and a lot of them are just edited. Like, they'll be the default ROARS but edited to something else. Now there is creatures, I want to give them a benefit of the doubt, there is creatures that actually have the unique ROARS, and I really do love them. Like, their sounds are absolutely amazing, it's just they don't do it correctly with some of the creatures, and most of them don't even have their unique kind of ROARS. Now they do explain that they're going to add those later on, maybe because they have a limited short supply of like sound directors or sound designers, I think it's called, and that's probably one of the issues that they're having. But at the same time, I feel like they should make the ROARS more unique instead of just editing them, because you could probably tell if you look at some of the ROARS in the game, there is some that are just like the default, which the default's basically the ROARS they add to new creatures that don't have their official ROARS yet, or they're never going to have them, and most of the time they're just edited to sound a bit different. Honestly, this was a huge problem in the very beginning because they never really focused on that. They kind of just focused on adding creatures, which is a really big issue now because there's so many creatures that it would take a ton of work for the developers. And I'm not saying it's necessarily the developers' fault, it's just the idea fault. Like, they didn't do it in the very beginning, which is causing all this. Now, I'm not saying this is a big ordeal because it's just ROARS. Like, not a lot of people have this sound on in the game probably, and they don't really use ROARS as much, but I think it would have been nice of them to at least add animations, and they would have at least add like unique kind of ROARS for most of the most of the creatures in this game. I think it would be a pretty nice touch to it, and it would also add little more details that people would enjoy, because I do like listening to the sounds that the creatures make in a lot of creature games. And with creatures of Sonaria, I really don't have my sounds on because it's just really annoying, because a lot of them are the same and stuff like that. And also adding on to that, there is a way that people can just spam the ROARS. Now I know this can be easily fixed. They could basically add a cooldown, as I know a lot of people who play small creatures like to spam roars. Now, a lot of people don't get annoyed by this now because they don't really have the sound on, or they just are used to it by now, but I feel like there should be a cooldown because realistically, a creature or any sort of thing can't really spam their own calls. Like, they have to finish it, and it kind of cuts out the calls when they do spam, so it's kind of like this thing, same thing over and over again. And I feel like they should add that because honestly it's very annoying. It's also very unrealistic. I know the game's not supposed to be realistic, but for creature's perspective, it is really unrealistic because a creature cannot do that. Anything cannot do that to their own voice, basically. The last thing before I end this video, it's not a major complaint, but it is something I've noticed, is some of the creatures, their roars that they are unique with don't really fit them, and I feel like they should look a little bit more into that and be like, okay, well, this creature is big, should it have this kind of roar, should it not? Because some of them don't honestly match with the creature they are, and it kind of makes it a little bit weird. Now, I will give them a benefit of the doubt. There's a lot of creatures in there that actually have a fitting roar, and I think they're pretty good. There's only a small majority, I think, that don't fit really, and I feel like they should look at that a tiny bit more. But other than that, that's really all I have to complain about in today's video. Yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. Comment down below your thoughts and opinions on these roars. I definitely think that they could be improved. They're not terribly bad, like, don't get me wrong, they're not like so bad that you don't even want to listen to them, but they're not good in the same way. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy, and like this video if you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.